Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
The Mizzou volleyball team continued its winning ways, although the Tigers were actually pushed yesterday in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. The Crimson Tide won the first 2 sets before Mizzou rallied back to win in 5. The 2 lost sets, in fact, are the first 2 sets the Tigers have dropped in SEC play this year. Mizzou is now 7-0 in conference play and has an 11-match winning streak. An AFC West showdown between the Chiefs and Oakland Raiders. KC just 2-2, but the Raiders are off to an impressive start at 4-1. Rainy day in Oakland yesterday, but despite the raindrops, the Raiders got on the board first. Derek Carr hits Andre Holmes, who makes a spectacular catch in the back of the end zone for a 3-yard touchdown. 7-0 Oakland. Second quarter, all tied at 7. Jamal Charles injured for most of the season. He gets a 4-yard rushing score. Charles' first touchdown this season gives the Chiefs a 13-7 lead. A little creative play calling going on here. Defensive lineman Dontari Poe catches it in the backfield and lowers his head to bulldoze forward for a 1-yard touchdown. 20-10 Kansas City, and the Chiefs defense continued to terrorize Derek Carr. On second down, Carr takes off and is strip sacked by Dee Ford. Tom Bahali recovers the fumble for Kansas City at its own 12-yard line, and that'd be the nail in the coffin. The Chiefs, your winners, 26-10, your final. Columbia's Carl Edwards and NASCAR Sprint Cup racers competed at the Kansas Speedway just across the state line. Edwards' best finish at the Kansas Speedway, just a second-place showing in 2008. Kevin Harvick came in 8 points below the cut line and needed a win to help his chances. Danny Hamlin is in the back of Brad Keselowski, and the number 2 Miller Lite Ford takes a rough spin through the grass, damaging the splitter in the process. On the restart with 30 laps to go, Carl Edwards in front, but Kevin Harvick wrestles away the lead and begins to pull away. And on the final lap, no one had an answer for Harvick. He takes the checkered flag and advances to the round of 8. Carl Edwards was second, and Joey Logano finished third. Game 2 of the National League Championship Series took place last night between the Cubs and Dodgers at Wrigley Field. Dodgers trying to even the series at 1 as the Cubs were your Game 1 winners Saturday night. The wind blowing out last night at Wrigley Field, that generally means lots of runs will be scored. It certainly helped Adrian Gonzalez here in the top of the second. He gets enough of this one and deposits it in the left field basket to break the scoreless tie. Solo shot for Gonzalez, 1-0 Dodgers. LA ace Clayton Kershaw didn't allow a hit until the 5th. He gets out of the jam here, getting Jason Hayward to pop out to third baseman Justin Turner to end the inning. Top of the 8th now, Gonzalez trying to add an insurance run, but Pedro Strop gets him to ground into a beautifully turned double play by the Cubs to end the frame. However, the one-run lead was all the Dodgers would need as Kenley Jansen gets Anthony Rizzo to hit a weak shot to second to end the game. The Dodgers even the NLCS up at 1 game apiece, heading to Los Angeles for games 3, 4, and 5 later this week. You know, Landon, Angie, one thing about fall that I love is that there's so many sports going on, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I personally don't have a baseball team to root for in the postseason, but I've got football and hockey to fall back on. Great to have some backup, you know?
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. So Angie, her husband is a Cubs fan.
Huge
Really?
Cubs fan.
And she was saying, you know, recently, up until recently, the Cubs haven't been too strong in the postseason.
No.
So it's like she's getting...
Last few years, but it's the first time I've really had to be like a wife of someone whose team's really doing well and all the emotions that come with it. I was like, wow, this is not something I've ever really experienced.
As a Cardinals fan, I feel like we often take that for granted.
You totally do.
So as a Yankees fan, I feel we take 27 championships for granted.
Right.
Okay, Ethan.
It's easy to
Thank
do.
you.
Spoiled.